Hello students. So student, in the previous class we had completed this chapter, that is pollution of air and water, and we were discussing the question answers. Now today also we will continue with the question answers of the chapter pollution of air and water, and we have discussed a lot of a thing which includes that what are the different ways by which we can control the prevent the air pollution, or what are the responsibilities you will follow if suppose you are a member of a municipal corporation or a municipality. Okay. Now today we will move to the next question, and the next question is that explain the difference between the pure air and polluted air. Okay. Explain the difference between the pure and polluted air. What we have to do, we have to understand that what do you understand by pure air and what is the meaning of this polluted air. How can you differentiate between them? So you see student, first of all we should know the meaning of a pure air, and only then we are able to make a difference between that how the pure air differ from that of the polluted air. Okay. So you see students, if we say pure air, what we understand by the pure air? Pure, it means the things which remain as such, there is no change in its composition, that we will call it as a pure one. Consisting of only one type of a thing in it, that will defines the purity of a substance. So we can say that a substance is a pure air, or a thing is a pure only if there is no mixture of anything else, or a mixture of any foreign material which degrade its quality. That we will call it as a pure material. If we talk about the impure, so consisting of more than the different types of a composition, and that is not its own composition, but some other composition has been mixed in it. So that we will call it as an impure one. So here when we talk about the pure air means consisting of the same composition as the composition of the air. Is it? Air it is. Okay. So what is the composition of an air, students? So you see pure air, it contains 78% of nitrogen. We know that the composition of the air consisting of a 78% of a nitrogen, which is the you can say that it is the gas which is basically it is present in the atmosphere in a major amount, or in a more percentage. So 78% of a nitrogen is there, then 21% of oxygen. The next gas which is present in the atmosphere is oxygen, which is in the major amount, means after nitrogen, and that is 21%. Okay. So most of the portion of the air consisting of nitrogen, and 21% is of oxygen. If we talk carbon dioxide, so 0.03% of carbon dioxide is also present in the atmosphere. Okay, and rest is other gases like helium is there, neon is there, argon is there, etc. Okay. Rest is the other gases which is present in a smaller quantities. it is present in the smaller quantities. Okay, so basically when we talk about a pure air, students, so pure air, it means there is no change in its composition remain as such. So in such a case, you know that air, basically it is consisting of a nitrogen. The percentage of a nitrogen in the atmosphere is 78%, 21% is of oxygen, and the rest of 0.03% is of carbon dioxide. Other in the 1% to 0.03% of a carbon dioxide is there, and other these gases like that of a helium, neon and argon, these are present in the atmosphere in a smaller quantities. Okay, so this is basically, we call it as a pure air. What is the meaning of a polluted air? So you see, student, if in this one other gases get mixed into the air, which is not good for the air, which is very harmful, which degrades its quality, which changes its characteristic, such kind of a air is known as a polluted air. Okay, so we can write it, that is, this is the pure one. What about the polluted? Polluted one, student. Now, when this air gets contaminated with some unwanted substances, which going to harm, the living organisms, that is a polluted air. So nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, are the pollutants responsible for making air as polluted air. Okay, so we can say that basically when we talk about the polluted air, it is the air which gets contaminated, and this contamination is because of the addition of some of the unwanted substances. These unwanted substances going to harm the living things as well as not the living organism. Student, you can say the non-living organism, like it will affect the quality of the air. So air is what? It is a non-living one. So it will not going to affect only the living organism, but also to that of a non-living organisms. Okay, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide is there. These are such kind of gases which act as a pollutant, and when it get mixed in the air, it will make air as a polluted air. So this is the basic difference between that of the polluted air and the pure air. There is no change in the composition of a pure air, but the polluted air get contaminated. Okay. Now we will move to the next question, students, that we have to understand the circumstances leading to the acid rain and what is its harmful effect also. talk the next one. Explain the circumstances leading to the acid rain. To acid rain. How does acid rain affect us? The circumstances leading to the acid rain and how does acid rain affect us. So you don't get confused with the question. The question is asking that what are the different circumstances because of that acid rain occur. In a very simple term, we can understand that this question is simply asking, especially in the first part, that how acid rain occurs. Okay, and the second one is that how this acid rain going to affect us. Is it good for us? It is bad for us? How it will going to affect us? So you see, students, that basically what happened, due to the pollution, due to air pollution, nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide, it get present, or it will remain in that of the atmosphere. Okay, so this nitrogen dioxide, this sulfur dioxide, it is a harmful gases. And how can we say that it is a harmful? Okay, so these nitrogen dioxide or the sulfur dioxide remain suspended in the air, and these both of the gases are very harmful. Okay, so ultimately you see that how does it occur, student? There are a lot of various causes due to which the amount of the nitrogen dioxide and the sulfur dioxide will be present or increases in the atmosphere. Now when the rainfall occurs, this sulfur dioxide, this nitrogen dioxide will get mixed with the air, with the water, and get converted into sulfonic acid and nitric acid. Now this sulfonic acid and nitric acid, it will causes the corrosion, and not only this, it will also responsible for the infertility of the soil. So how this rain becomes acid rain? It is because of the nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide, which when mixes with the water get converted into nitric acid and sulfonic acid. Okay, so we can write it. Air due to the pollution, or we can simply write it that air consisting of the pollutant, consisting of nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere. When the rainfall occurs, these gases mixed with the water and gets converted into nitric acid and sulfonic acid. Sorry, student. Nitric acid and sulfonic acid. So you see here students, the gases get converted into the acid when it comes in contact with the water. Now these mixes with the water along with the rainwater start coming to the ground. And such kind of a rain consisting of an acid in it is known as a acid rain. Okay. So we can say that this acid rain, this acid starts coming down, along with the rain. Okay, starts coming down along with the rain. Okay, and thus the rain is known as acid rain. Okay, and that is why this rain is also known as a acid rain. Okay, so you see students, the first question answer is that what are the different circumstances which leads to the acid rain. So you see that we can see the conditions, the nitrogen dioxide and the sulfur dioxide which is present in the air, in the atmosphere. When the rainfall occurs, it mixes with the water and finally it gets converted into acid, and this acid along with the rainwater starts coming down to the ground. Okay, and by this we can say the acid rain occur. Now if we move to the next question students, so next you see the next one is that how does the acid rain going to affect us? So till that in this question we have understood that how the acid rain occur, what are the different circumstances which is responsible for causing the acid rain. Now it is a time to understand that how the acid rain going to affect us. So we will write this answer in points to understand it. Okay, so you see, so we will write it, the effect of acid rain. We will write all the answers in the point students to make the things more understand. So the first thing, you see it is an acid and you know that this acid is responsible for the corrosion. Okay, so we can say that it causes the corrosion of metals. So first is it increases the corrosion of metal. So student, you can see that it will going to affect the construction of the houses or the monuments if it is going on. There the metals which is to be used, if it is exposed and if it comes in a contact with that of the acid rain, so ultimately it will causes the corrosion of that metal. So we can say that acid rain is responsible for the corrosion of the metal. Second one students, you see the acid rain also affect the monuments, it affect the buildings. So we can say that it will going to affect the buildings and the sculptures. When we talk about the sculpture, it means we are talking about the monuments. Okay, so we can say that it damages building and sculpture material. Okay, it damages building and that of the sculpture material. Now, not only this student, this acid rain, finally from the rain it will reaches to the soil. Now, it will increases the pH of the soil, make the soil more acidic because since itself it is an acid. So, ultimately it will increases the infertility, or we can say it will decreases the crop yield. Because as the pH of the soil get changed, so it will be difficult for the crop to grow there. So we can say that it will changes the pH and due to which it is responsible for decreasing the crop yield. Okay, so we can say that it will not going to affect the monuments only, corrosion only, but it also responsible for damaging the plant or the crop. Okay, so we can write it. It causes direct damage. It causes direct damage to crop plants. Okay, it damages the crop plants. Okay, so we can say that it damages. And the final one, students, that when this acid rain fall on the skin of a person, so ultimately it will causes the skin irritation. Okay, so we can say the skin eruption will be caused by that of the acid rain. So it causes skin eruption in human being. Skin eruption in human being. So you see, students, that these are the different effects of the acid rain. The first one we have said that it going to affect the metals because it increases the corrosion of the metal. The second thing, that it damages the monuments or the sculpture material as well as the building materials. The third one is that it causes direct damage to that of the crop and the plants, you can say. So it will going to affect the fertility of the soil. So ultimately the responsible for damaging of the plants. And finally, when it reaches to the skin of a human being, it causes, because it is acid, so it will going to harm the skin and it causes skin eruption or skin irritation. So these are the different effects of the acid rain. So this is the sixth question. Now move to the next question, students. And there we have to understand that what we understand by the greenhouse gases or greenhouse effect. You have heard about the greenhouse effect. Now in this question we have to write about that of the greenhouse effect, students. So we will see the next question, student, and the next question is that describe the greenhouse effect. Describe the greenhouse effect, students. Okay, so whenever the question is that explain greenhouse effect or describe greenhouse effect. So what you have to write? You have to write that what do you understand by the greenhouse, who is responsible for the greenhouse effect, and what are the greenhouse gases also we can say. Okay, so we'll start writing and try to understand the greenhouse effect. So let me write the answer and then I'll explain you that what is the greenhouse effect. So basically the greenhouse effect means the greenhouse effect means that is warming of the earth's environment. Warming of the earth's environment. Okay, warming of the earth's environment. So what happened here, you can write all of them in a points also. That for the first thing, you see, students, if the question is asked that in a one word that what do you understand by the greenhouse effect, you will write it means that warming of the earth environment. Basically what happened here, when the sun rays it falls on the surface of the earth, there are some gases which is present in our atmosphere. These gases basically they are responsible for absorbing the sunlight which is coming towards the earth, which is coming inside to that of the earth atmosphere. And the property of these gases that they do not allow the sunlight to again get back to the atmosphere, okay, or away from that of the atmosphere. So because of that, because of the trapping of the heat energy which is coming from that of the sunlight, and do not allow it to go back, making the surface of the earth warm or increasing the temperature of the earth. And this effect which is performed or which is caused by that of the greenhouse gases or for trapping of the heat energy is known as the greenhouse effect, and that is why the definition of the greenhouse effect is the warming of the earth's environment. Now the question is that why we are using this term greenhouse? So you see students, there are this house is it is, you can say it is made up of a glass, and the property of a glass also, if a house is made up of a glass property is also the same, that it used to trap the sunlight and do not allow the sunlight to go outside. So when the sunlight fall inside of a glass house, it will come inside but it will not allow the sunlight to go back. Okay, to get back into the outside from that of the glass house. And that is why that kind of a house is used for the plants which basically grow in the winter, and to maintain the temperature also, we can say such kind of a such kind of a glass house is used for the growth of the plant. Now plants is a green in color, so name has been given is the greenhouse. Okay, so we can say that greenhouse effect means warming of the earth's environment. What happened here, when the sun rays fall on the earth, sun rays falls on the earth, it is absorbed by the greenhouse gases, absorbed by the greenhouse gases. Absorbed. The sunlight falls on the earth, it is absorbed by it, and some of the rays get radiated. Here we are talking when the sunlight it comes on the earth's surface. Okay, so some of the rays gets reflected back. Some of the rays gets reflected back. So this is the first condition it happens. What happened in the second point, student? You will write it that the greenhouse gases second point is the greenhouse gases traps this sunlight and do not allow heat to leave. Okay, so greenhouse gases trap the sunlight and do not allow heat to leave, and this help in keeping the planet warm. So we can write it. This helps in keeping our planet warm. In the next point we can write it is carbon dioxide which acts as a greenhouse gas and helps in trapping the sunlight. Okay, so you see, students, you can write it that the other greenhouse gases are also there and it is also responsible. So this is carbon dioxide. We can also write carbon dioxide, I'm writing here, comma, methane, okay, water vapor also. Okay, so all these things will help in trapping that of the sunlight which is coming on the coming in the atmosphere, and it traps the sunlight in the form of a heat. So it traps the heat energy and do not allow the heat energy to go back. Okay, and since the more heat energy will get trapped, so we will say that the temperature will be warm, it will be more, and it will help in keeping our earth warm. Okay, so this is the greenhouse effect.